Despite arriving late last night coming from Prague and ended up going to bed at almost 2 in the morning, we still managed to wake up early. We had to because we plan to explore as much landmarks as we can today. You see, we kind of changed our plans on this trip. Initially, our plan was to spend 4 days exploring this city, but at the last minute, we decided to include Santorini as well. So now we basically only have 2 days to see as much as we can in Athens and spend at least 2 in Santorini. I know 2 days is definitely not enough for both places, but we figured since we're already in Greece, we just had to see at least one Greek island, right? Anyway, without wasting any time, the first spot we went to is the Ermou Street, which was just around the corner from our hotel. Dating back to 1833, this street is one of the first roads built in modern Athens, and it's considered to be one of the most expensive shopping streets in Europe. It's actually in the top 5 in Europe and 10th in the world. Along this street, you'll find jewelry shops, cafes, bars, restaurants, and of course, high-end department stores. One of the oldest churches in Athens is also located here, which we unfortunately missed. Okay, the first stop is this street. This is called Ermou Street. It's a very popular street here in Athens. They have like shops and restaurants all across the sides. So here, let's show you this. Here you go. If you go down the street, there's a whole bunch of shops. But we're gonna head that way though, to the Municipal Hall. I don't know where I got Municipal Hall. What I meant was Greek Parliament. And on our way there, we passed by this square, which is called Syntagma Square or Constitution Square. Located right in front of the Greek Parliament, this square is the most important square in Athens today because of its history and its location. It was constructed in 1834 during the reign of King Otto, who was the first king of Greece. Military uprisings, mass protests, and demonstrations took place here throughout its history. In fact, the military uprising in 1843, I believe, was the most significant because it led to the creation of the country's constitution. So that's the square, and then right in front of it is the unknown soldier. We're gonna go there and just check it out, and then the Parliament building. Right in front of me is the or that one is the tomb of the unknown soldier, and right behind it is the Greek Parliament building. So I was thinking of going to the Parliament building, but there's no way around here. So I'm just gonna view it from here, I guess, and then kind of talk about it right now. The Greek Parliament is the supreme democratic institution representing the people of Greece. It was established in 1843, right after King Otto was forced to create the Constitution of Greece. This building you see here was the first royal palace built in 1843. And when the palace caught fire in 1909, the king moved to the Crown Prince's Palace just a block away. It was only in 1924, after the monarchy was abolished, that the building was used for many purposes, such as a hospital, a refugee shelter, a museum, and finally the Parliament, which is what it is today. Anyway, right in front of the Parliament is a tomb of the unknown soldier. It's basically an empty tomb or a monument dedicated to all the Greek soldiers who died in war. The tomb is guarded by the Greek army or the Presidential Guard, as it is referred today. It looks like they're changing guards right now. Or he's checking him. So now we're gonna go down this street. See, we're gonna go down this street and we're gonna go to the temple of the Olympian Zeus. That's what it's called. It's gonna be quite a walk, but we're gonna go head that way from the Parliament. We just passed by this park. It's called the Zapion Park. Some guy just told me that on the street. It was really, you know, so far a lot of people here are so nice. That's my first impression, at least. Like everybody we talk to, they're just so nice and warm. They're welcoming. But this is just a park we're gonna pass by. We just passed by, and then we're gonna go straight to that temple. This is actually not called Zapion Park. It's called the National Gardens of Athens. And inside the gardens, you'll find the Zapion Hall, which is a building used for conferences as well as an exhibition center. The National Garden, formerly the Royal Garden, is basically a public park located behind the Greek Parliament building. So as we were walking down the street, we found this. This is like it's an archaeological like dig or something, a site. And it says on my app this is like a Roman bath. I'm not sure if it's only this section of the city, but you'll find ruins like this dating back to the 4th or even the 3rd century scattered all around this area. This one was accidentally found during a ventilation shaft construction. Anyway, Greece is known to have the first advanced civilization in Europe. In fact, it's even considered to be the birthplace of Western civilization. Actually, from around 3200 BC, evidence of writings and scripts have been found. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot more ruins like this that are not discovered yet. It's funny, I'm already amazed by this. We're still gonna go to like Acropolis, which is really old. We'll see a lot of this later. Just a block away from the ruins, we came to the Arch of Hadrian, or Hadrian's Gate. Built sometime around 131 to 132 AD, this arch marble gateway was created to celebrate the arrival of Hadrian, who was the Roman emperor at that time. Interestingly, there were two inscriptions on the arch naming Hadrian and Theseus as founders of Athens. It's unclear if that meant the whole city of Athens or the city in two parts, like the old one and the new one, who knows. This right here is the Arch of Hadrian, like what I mentioned. But right in front of me, right here, is the temple of Zeus, or the Olympian Zeus, it says. Right there. So we got ourselves our ticket for pretty much all the sites all the way there. Oh, look at that. I think that's the Parthenon. Yeah, but we got the tickets. It's about $30 each, so we get to go to like 7 sites, they said. We just took a picture of the map because we don't really know. I was asking the lady if how do I know which one we can go to, but she's like, you can go to 7. And I'm like, okay. So this right here is the temple of the Olympian Zeus. Before anything else, tickets here vary in prices if you just want to see a specific landmark or multiple sites like the one we got. If you ask me, it's worth getting the multiple site tickets because it allows you to visit 7 sites, which saves you money, and it's valid for 5 days. So that's the temple, I believe. Yeah, it is. I think it's just what's left of it, huh? It must be like a big temple right here. Some of the pillars like fell apart too. With 104 columns, each standing about 55 feet high, and a platform measuring about 134 feet by 354 feet, this temple must have been massive. In fact, it was intended to be the greatest temple in the ancient world. Well, the temple of the Olympian Zeus, or the columns of the Olympian Zeus, was obviously dedicated to the Greek god Zeus, who was the highest ranking Olympian god. The construction of this temple started sometime in 520 BC and was only completed in the 2nd century AD, which took approximately about 640 years to complete. The reason why it took so long is because the ruling powers of the country of that time shifted, and the people of Greece felt it was too arrogant to build such a scale. But it was eventually completed during the reign of Emperor Hadrian. Anyway, the temple in all its glory only stood for just about a century when it fell during the barbarian invasion in 267 AD. Centuries after that, parts of the temple were used for other projects throughout the city, and eventually it was reduced into ruins as we see today. Okay, we're right in front of the temple of Zeus, but man, it's really hot. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get sunburned today, but, because from here we're gonna go walk all the way to Acropolis, or I think we're in Acropolis already, but that's the Parthenon, right? Yeah, the Parthenon up there. We're gonna go there. But before we do, we're probably gonna end up seeing more sites and stuff, because there's like a whole bunch of sites going up there. There's so many dig sites here everywhere. See, that's the thing. If you don't have a tour guide or a tour or map or something, you wouldn't know which one it is. But I kind of do because of my app. That's the temple of the Apollo Delphinian. Yeah, something like that. I'll put the tag underneath. And this is just a ruin. That's what it says on my map. And then somewhere here is this. You know, we were standing here looking at the ruins, and I noticed this tree. Looks like an olive tree. Look. Yeah. Look at that. That looks like an olive tree. An olive. Here, let's go to the sun here. Is that an olive? I'm so tempted to bite on it, but I'm just gonna say it's an olive. Yeah. From the temple, we came across this street, and we're gonna have lunch here, and hopefully we can find a restaurant here somewhere. So we spotted this restaurant right here. This is where we're gonna have a breakfast or brunch. All right, I'm gonna get the codfish. What are you gonna get?
The stewed meatballs with rice.
Where's that?
Under the Greek cuisine.
Oh damn. Where's stewed meatball with rice? That looks good. All right, first beer in Greece. All right. Oh, it has a crab right here. Oh.
They did it much cooler than
Oh shit. So that was a mishap. I spilled my beer all over the place here. I should have used both hands to open that. Anyway, this is the fried codfish I ordered. I've read that fried cod, or bacalhauros, is a Greek traditional dish made famous by being consumed during March 25th, which is also Greece's Independence Day. I think Independence Day had nothing to do with this dish, but instead it's because of the Great Lent or Great Fast here, where people don't eat meat, fish, or dairy products for 40 days. The church only allowed people to eat fish on March 25th and on Palm Sunday, and because of that, this dish was created. You know, if I didn't know that, to me this is just like fish and chips. Well, fish and rice, you know what I mean. Anyway, this is the steamed meatballs with rice you ordered. This dish originated in the city of Izmir, which is in Turkey, and was only introduced here in Greece in the early 20th century by refugees, where it eventually became a traditional Greek dish. The meatball is made with minced meat, egg, garlic, parsley, breadcrumbs, salt, pepper, and a lot of cumin. Then it's deep fried and stewed in tomato sauce, wine, onions, bay leaf, garlic, and olive oil. Oh, and then they serve it with rice. So first of all, the fried codfish was nice and thick and smelled really good. I know I say that a lot, but it's true. Anyway, after cutting through the fish, I can see that it's cooked just right. It's very tender and juicy. And adding fresh lemon to any seafood is something I like to do, especially when it's fried, because for me the lemon gives the seafood that clean, fresh flavor to it. Whoa. Really hot. Piping hot. But the rice is different. The rice is really different. Really good. Let me try the potatoes. I don't know why I didn't say anything about the fish, but it's seasoned perfectly and it was so soft it basically just melted in my mouth. Oh, and it's not too oily at all. Very flavorful. There's a lot of flavors. I mean, the rice alone is already flavorful. Alright, so she got me her meatball. I'm gonna try it. It's kind of almost like falafel, huh? It's like a lot of like garnish in it. Oh wow, that's good. It's really tasty. It's really tasty. There's so much flavor in there. It's really hard to describe this because there's so much flavor in the inside this meatball. But the fish, like I said, was perfectly seasoned. It's not too salty and it's cooked just right. Pairing it with the rice was a good combination. I don't know what they put in the rice, but surprisingly, it was bursting with flavor. Yeah, we're gonna finish this meal and we're gonna go, after this, we're gonna go straight to Acropolis, yeah. And check out as much as we can today. You know, to be honest, coming here, I didn't really know anything about Greek cuisine. All I know is that it had something to do with Mediterranean food, where the core ingredients are wheat, grapes, and olives. I also had in mind kebabs and hummus. But Greek cuisine, as I found out, is largely part of the Ottoman cuisine, where they use a lot of olive oil, vegetables, wine, cheese, fish, and meat. You know, at this point, I still don't know anything about Greek food, so everything I say is based on my experience here and comparing it to different foods I've had in my life. And so far for me, Greek food is amazing. I haven't had much of it yet, but the flavors of the food I've had so far, especially the sauce they mix it with, is just something else. It looks simple, but it's very flavorful. So after we finished eating, we came to this landmark. This is called the Choragic Monument of Lyskarates. Lyskarates was a wealthy Athenian citizen who funded musical performances in the Theater of Dionysus. He built this marble monument to commemorate the prize in the contest for an ancient Greek song and dance in honor of Dionysus, who by the way was a Greek god of wine and fertility. Anyway, this Greek monument, built in 335 to 334 BCE, is the first use of the Cortinian order, which is an architectural style of fluted columns and elaborate decorations. After being purchased by the French monastery in 1669, this monument became famous in France and England, which led to numerous copies created all over the world. The monument stands here on Trepondo Street that leads to the Theater of Dionysus, which is located on the south side of Acropolis. So we have to go up the steps. This place is kind of nice. There's a whole bunch of touristy spots right there, like restaurants and souvenir shops all the way down there. But we're really gonna head up here towards the Parthenon area, or the Acropolis. See, that's the Parthenon is gonna be in there. I don't know what mountain is that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's that place right there. It's called Lycavitos. It's a legendary limestone hill. We just got out of the entrance. We have tickets already, so it was pretty quick for us. So now we're gonna go up here and see that we're gonna walk all the way up there. This is gonna be intense because the sun is pretty hot. Yeah, but it's still pretty cool though. So the first stop is the Theater of Dionysus, but whenever, it's right here. The Theater of Dionysus, like I said, is located on the south side of the Acropolis you see in the background. The ancient theater, part of the sanctuary of Dionysus, was built sometime in the 6th century BC and was renovated several times until it was fully completed in the 4th century BC, where it could hold up to 17,000 people. The theater began as a temple where religious ceremonies are held, then eventually transitioned into a theater in the 5th century, where it became the world's first theater and the birthplace of Greek drama, consisting of tragedy, satire plays, and comedy, complete with an orchestra. Originally, the seats of the theater was made of wood, and then it was rebuilt into limestone and marble. Important people at that time, such as government officials and priests, had their names inscribed in the stone to reserve the seat, just like in the Roman Colosseum. Anyway, the theater was used all the way to the Roman period. It was only in the 19th century when this theater was identified and restored into what you see today. So this is the Theater of Dionysus. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'll correct myself. But it's like a theater. Look, there's like seats right there. And right here is probably where they perform, right in front of us. I'm just gonna walk there real quick. See the I guess you can go take a seat there and stuff, but we're not going to. But this is like the whole stage, I guess. Right next to the theater, going up to the Acropolis, we came to this monument. It's called the Choragic Monument of Nicias. By the way, Choragic in Greece, if I'm pronouncing that right, I found out it's someone who provides the expense or funding of the choir in ancient Greek drama. And I guess Nicias is one of them. Anyway, Nicias was a wealthy Athenian politician and general, born in 470 BCE. He negotiated peace with Sparta and temporarily ended the Peloponnesian War. But during the Sicilian expedition, he was eventually captured in Syracuse and was executed. I don't know if that's the same Nicias this monument is dedicated to, but I couldn't find anyone else with that name. So it must be the same guy. This is a monument. His name is Nicias. I'm not sure who he is, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to talk about it. But it's really nothing. It's just a bunch of rocks and stuff. I don't see any monument, to be honest. if you come up here, oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Look at that. That's like Athens right there. I mean, it must be amazing up there. But from here is already nice. Right there. But if you're gonna come up here going up the Parthenon, yeah, going up to the Parthenon, you're gonna see a whole bunch of like ruins like this. It's kind of hard to track down which one it is because there's so many, but I'm gonna just talk about the most significant ones along the way. This right here is called the Nemesis Temple, which is one of the many temples you'll see going up to the Acropolis. But before we enter the Acropolis, where the Parthenon is located, you'll come across this. It's the Herodes Theater, built in 161 AD by Herodes, who was a Greek Roman senator. Even though it once had a roof, which got destroyed centuries after it was built, it was used as a place for concerts, which can hold up to 5,000 people. Anyway, it was left in ruin for centuries until it was fully renovated in 1953. Since then, festivals and concerts are held here. Famous people like Pavarotti, Frank Sinatra, Andrea Bocelli, and many others have performed here. Today you can watch events here, especially during summer. I think the marble floors are so preserved. Even the seats. But it's really nice up here. Except the sun, man. It's really intense up here, the sun. Here. See this? But it's a good thing there's like trees like this where you can kind of like stop and like rest for shade. You definitely have to bring water here for sure. But we're pretty close. The Parthenon is up there, so we just have to walk a little bit more and then we'll make it up there. We're going up now. This is heading straight inside the Parthenon. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Wow. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's the Nike temple. So this is the Acropolis of Athens. Acropolis is the ancient citadel of Athens, located on this rock hill, 490 feet above sea level, with a surface area close to about 8 acres. Inside the Acropolis, you'll find several structures of ancient buildings with great historical and architectural importance, but the most famous of them all is the Parthenon, which I've mentioned a few times. You know, it's documented that this hill was inhabited as far back to the Neolithic Age or the Stone Age, but you won't find any structures from that time anymore. Instead, you'll find the remains of the structures from the 5th century BC, such as the Parthenon, the Erechtheum, the Temple of Athena Nike, and the Propylaea you see here, which is, by the way, the monumental gateway of the Acropolis. All these structures I mentioned are all constructed by the leadership of Persiles, who was a prominent Greek statesman and general of Athens during its golden age. Anyway, Acropolis is the most important landmark in Athens because it serves as a symbol of ancient Greek culture. Look at that. Man, that is amazing. There's like a little temple over there. See that? Which probably won't even go to, but this is amazing. We're not at the Parthenon yet.
This is not the very top.
Yeah, it's not the very top. We're just right in the beginning, so that's the entrance. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk up some more up there and see what's up there. Like I said, this is the Propylaea. It's basically the main gateway of Acropolis, made of marble built in 432 BC. I've read that guards used to screen people coming through here, and if anyone who is not ritually clean, they were denied entrance to the sanctuary. You'll still see guards here today, but they mostly just shout and blow their whistles at people who gets close to a structure. Anyway, I'm still amazed that it still functions as the main entrance of the Acropolis, where thousands of people pass through this gate every year. There's so much people here. It's crazy. Okay, so this right here is the Nike temple. Unfortunately, we can't go there. It's kind of restricted. But you can only view it from here, I guess. The Temple of Athena Nike is obviously dedicated to Nike, who is an ancient Greek goddess. The temple was built around 420 BC, as citizens used it to worship the goddess in hopes of victory during war. By the way, Nike in ancient Greek means victory, if you didn't know. Anyway, this temple went through a lot. It was demolished in 1686 during the Great Turkish War, where they replaced it with a cannon. And then eventually, it was reconstructed in 1834, but it was dismantled in 1998 due to the crumbling floors. Today, the Nike Temple is still closed to visitors. I think they're still working on it. You know what I'll do? I'll do this. My Nike shoe. And the Nike Temple. Oh, sorry. She got pissed. I was trying to film my Nike shoes with the Nike Temple. Here. If only I can do yoga, I would have like balanced my feet up there. But oh my god. This is the Parthenon. That's the Parthenon right now. There you go. It's all the way up here. They're kind of really strict here, like not to touch the marbles and stuff. But I can understand that because keep touching it, it wears off after a few years. So this is the Parthenon. Regarded as one of the world's greatest cultural monuments and the symbol of ancient Greece, it's dedicated to the goddess Athena, who, by the way, is considered the patron and protector of Greece, specifically here in Athens. Construction of the Parthenon started in 447 BC, at the peak of the Athenians' empire's power, and was fully completed in 432 BC. You know, I was surprised to find out that an older temple once stood here before the Parthenon. Historians call it pre-Parthenon or older Parthenon. Actually, it was still under construction when it was destroyed during the Persian invasion in 480 BC. Anyway, the Parthenon, after it was completed, had 8 columns on both ends and 17 columns on each side. It measures 228 feet long and 101 feet wide, while it stands at about 45 feet high. In total, the Parthenon had 46 outer columns and 23 inner columns. It was definitely built like a Greek temple, but it pretty much served as the Athenian Empire's treasury. In fact, it was documented that there are a lot of treasures stored inside this temple, like gold, precious metals, statues, and weapons. For nearly 1,000 years, the Parthenon was a temple dedicated to Athena until the Roman Empire came and closed all pagan temples down. After that, sometime in the 6th century AD, it was converted into a Christian church, or the Church of the Virgin Mary, where major changes in the interior took place. And when the Ottoman Empire came and ruled over Greece in the 15th century, the Parthenon was turned into a mosque, and again the interior was changed, but the structure remained the same. Finally, in 1687, during the Great Turkish War, the Parthenon was used to store explosive gunpowder, resulting in the massive explosion that destroyed the building's central portion, the roof, and a lot of its columns. It was only in 1975 when the Greek government began its restoration and other structures here in the Acropolis. Well, to this day, as you can see, the restoration still continues. You know, I would say with all its history, the Parthenon is the most important building that still survives from ancient Greece, or classical Greece. In fact, I think it's the most important building in Greece today. So this is the Parthenon, and right next to it is called the Erechtheum. I'm not sure if I'm saying that, but that's how I'm saying it. It's Erechtheum. We're gonna go to the Erechtheum. It's like scorching hot out there, but I'm gonna go. This is the Erechtheum. The Erechtheum was once an ancient Greek temple dedicated to both Poseidon and Athena. It was built in 421 to 406 BC. Although it might have gotten its name from a legendary Greek hero, but it's more probable that it came from a mythical king named Erechtheus, who I've read was buried here somewhere. The temple was built entirely from marble and is considered to have connections with ancient and holy relics of the Athenians. And like the Parthenon, it went through a lot of repairs and changes throughout the centuries, as well as being severely damaged during the Greek War of Independence in 1821. It was only until 1977 to 1988 when the temple underwent major restorations and most of its statues and caryatids were replaced with replicas and transferred to the Acropolis Museum. This is still the temple of Erechtheum or something. Erechtheum. But what's interesting is that's wood. I thought everything would have been marble, but I guess it's wood. Looks really old. Here, let me try on do a zoom on this. Yep. It is wood. Or marble, I don't know. It's really hard to tell. Now that I got to look at this clip, It's definitely marble. It just looks like wood stained with water from afar. Yeah, you can believe like Athens, man. It's pretty big. But just admiring this view is awesome, but our plan is to go around the Parthenon. We're gonna go around there and see what's up. This is the end part of the hill, and up here is where the flag is. Just gonna go up. See, the flag is just right here. Oop, that's the flag. Then right in front of the flag is the Parthenon. Look at that. That is a nice view. That's where we were earlier. See that? It's the temple of Zeus. And our hotel is somewhere here. Somewhere there. We hung out here for a bit and spent as much time as we can admiring this place, thinking about what it must have looked like back then. But it was really hot and there's not a lot of shade up here. So wearing a hat or even bringing an umbrella is something you should think about if you come here. I remember seeing public toilets here, but I didn't see any water fountains anywhere. So make sure to bring some water too. It's too bad they're remodeling it, but that's the front part of the Parthenon. And we're actually done here. I'm really burnt. We're gonna go down now and check out some more stuff. So from the Acropolis, we headed back down to the city and looked for a place to grab a bite to eat. We weren't really that hungry. We were actually more thirsty than anything. Oh, that's it. So we got to this restaurant.